Kia ora everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Amy, the colorist here at Amy Ward Art, and I am back today with our Wednesday series, What You're Working On Wednesdays, where we go through all the whips and things that I'm up to during the week, and then we just sit down and have a bit of a chat. This is only episode 2, but I got a lot of positive reactions from episode 1, so it seems like you guys like the series. Thank you so much for all your comments and likes and interaction on the video, because it meant a lot. And yeah, we're still finding our groove with the series. I did get some good feedback about how to do it progressing forward, so yeah. So first thing I need to ask you is, what you're working on? How's your week going? What is your current whip or whips, or what are you working on at the moment? You know I love to hear from you. I have my coffee, decaf, still on decaf. And I have a few whips to share. So last time in the first episode, I shared what I completed in the week plus the active whips. This time I'm just going to show you the active whips in my pile at the moment. We're not going to do the completed pages. That was one of the feedbacks that I got. It was very, very long, and I am someone who does tend to work on a lot of things at once and do a lot of things. So yeah, it also took a lot of the video. So, the first one I have is in Colouring Heaven. Oh, the Little Mermaid special. There's the cover there. And I have, sneak peek, but I have completed one. So I did complete one of the 2 pages that is in here, but I have this Sorcerer page. I haven't actually touched this one since last time I showed it to you, but I do plan, I still consider this an active whip. I'm actually planning to get to this one later today, and get some details done on it, at least start on the face. But yeah, I haven't made any progression on that one, but that's still an active whip. Same with the Shimmer Arts mandala. I changed what I was colouring in bed, so I've just done a little bit more with alcohol markers and Crayola super tips, a mixture of both. It was just what I had beside me. I think I'm going to use some Neocolor 2s to fill in the background a bit and just come in from the outside in with a bit of blue just to fill in the background, and then just do some flat colours for in there, and then maybe get some pencils for shading, glitter, shimmers, you know, all the fun stuff. But it's just a fun, sweet little page, and I'm just having fun with it because, you know, it's a bit of a kid's book. So have fun. All colouring should be fun. I did make a little bit of progress on the Tales from Atlantis double that I've been working on. So I got a bit more of, I got the crane done. You can also see I added some glitter gel pens to some of the details of the crane. And then I have started on the hair over here as well. I don't know where I'm progressing from here, but this one, you know, there's no rush with any of these. This is just randomly felt like doing it. So yeah, but I do like my blue crane so far. I think that looks really cool. I think I'm going to do his beak black as well, just to match the feet, keep it quite harmonious. And the metallics that I've used on here, I think I'll use for all like the little face details and stuff like that over here. So that's the progress I've made on Tales from Atlantis. I started a new one in Mythagoria Undead Academy. This is my first ever Mythagoria page that I've coloured. I've only done the base layer with alcohol markers so far, but I like where I'm going with this. My plan is to make it really, really dark with glowing worms, eels under the water. A little bit of a moon glow, so a little bit of backlight on the surface, but really all about the glow under the water too. So that's kind of my plan for that one. So right now it just has an alcohol marker base, but I love how it's progressing. I'm excited to get a page done in this book because I've been pulling it out for so long. It's always nice when you work in an unworked book. Speaking of unworked books, this one I actually started last night in bed. This is Fairy Tales, Princess and Fables by Lydia Fenwick. And this one is the Rapunzel page, and I just started this with my polychromos, lying in bed and just going for it with the colours and shading in, and was doing this in some pretty bad lighting, so it's quite nice to look at it the next day and go, actually, that's not too bad for the lighting that I was doing it in. So yeah, I've just got all the stonework to go, and I usually do stonework in Inktense, so I think I will pull out Inktense to do all the stonework, because it's real easy to get like a mottly grey stonework effect. So yeah, and then I just have to decide if that's also going to be grey, and yeah, it's a lot of grey if I do it all grey, so that's what I'm just debating right now. But once that's done, then I can decide if I want to deepen the colours of the pencil or if it's happy as is. But yeah, I did that one last night while in bed. So that's Rapunzel. Made a little bit of progress on the Fantastic Worlds double. So I did change my mind of how I was going to do this. I actually pulled out Albert Dürer for the figure, and so she's quite solid where she's above the water, but then when she's below the water, I'm trying to blend out the colours a bit and make it so you get hints of it, but you don't see the solid colour. I don't know if it's reading all that well so far. It may read better when I get more things filled in, so thinking I might do like the lily pads next or something. And I am just going to, for the situation with the fish, which if you went away, the fish I feel like should be under the water, but the way that they're drawing a lot of the time, they look like they're actually on the surface. So I'm just going to try and mimic the water lines with a black fine liner and make them be half in, half out, and then go over all like the little ripples with a white paint pen at the end, and then it will hopefully cover the paint lines that I've drawn in and match them to the lines that are already there. So I think that's my plan going forward for that one. But yeah, I'll just slowly keep picking away at this one and seeing how we go. Like I said, next step I think I'll do the lily pads and the lotus flowers, and then it's just really the fishes and the hair, and figuring out what's in and out of the water, then maybe adding some more colours into the water. But yeah, we're getting some progress done now. The Lost Ocean double. Oh my gosh, y'all. Look at this. I managed to find gel pens, glitter gel pens. I found this pack here that contained 6 of them for $2.50. There were 6 packets on the shelf. I grabbed all of them, and it was a good thing I did, because I used up 5 and started on the 6th gel pen to finish this background. But the background is done, and apart from the colors that I have, I will never ever do a glitter gel pen background again, because in total this took 8 glitter gel pens. Like, oh my gosh, that was a lot of gel pens. It looks fabulous, I love it, but never again. So now I just have to decide what I'm doing for the mooms. Like, am I going to color them all the same color? Am I going to color them different colors? I feel like if I did rainbow, it's going to be too much, but I feel like if I do them all the same, it's going to be too matchy-matchy. So maybe I just need to choose a few colors and mix them up per mermaids. The other thing I was thinking is just coloring the tail and the shell gold and maybe the pearls around their neck and leaving the rest of them white. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So if you've got any ideas, please feel free to put them in the comments down below. Like, maybe I just do them all gold and white, and maybe I could color in the hair like a dark brown or something, or a color, or I don't know, just keep them all. I don't know. Yeah, I'm really stuck at this point. So if you've got any suggestions, I would love to hear them. Put them down below for me, because yeah, I'm stuck, but at least that background's done. I feel like that's a big achievement. So yeah. And then the last thing that I'm working on at the moment is Oceans to Stars, and I have the Taurus page that I started on live stream recently, and this has all been done with Inktense. Yeah, I love, well, I say it's all been done with Inktense. Let me correct myself. It's all Inktense except for the horns, which does have Inktense. It also has some washi tape, which is also what I used on the top here. And there's also some Mod Podge Extreme Glitter over. No, there's Mod Podge Matte with Stickles Diamond over the horns. So the horns have a little bit of a shimmer as well when you turn it. But it has Mod Podge Matte because I needed to make sure it was sealed down because the pieces were so tiny. What I ended up doing was tracing it onto baking paper, sticking the washi tape down, and then flipping the baking paper over and cutting out around my lines that I drew, then peeling it off like a sticker and sticking it down because it was just so fussy and there was no way I was going to be able to like cut through the tape and see the lines. So yeah, it was a challenge, but I do love how the horns turned out with the pattern. I think it looks really cool. And I'm also really, really proud of the hair on here so far because I really, really wanted to make sure I captured the correct texture. It was very important to me, and I've never coloured hair with this texture before. So I really was trying really hard with the hair, and I feel like I've successfully pulled it off. I'm pretty proud of the hair. So yeah, that's where we're at with Taurus. So we've just got this emerald left to go, and then the flowers need a little bit more work. And then I just have to do like super golden markers around the outside and we're done. So I figured today I would just get this emerald done. And then depending how we go, maybe we'll get to the flowers too, but we'll at least start on the emerald. So I've got my palette here. So how I do this is I work with Inktense and I colour onto a palette and then I brush the colours on, basically turn the colours into ink. Also, I work with a limited colour palette, so if you need my specific colour palette for this piece, I have used Carmine Pink, which has only been used in the background, Persian Red, Apple Green, Field Green, Natural Brown, Dark Mink, and Deep Indigo. And that's all the colours I've used for the whole page. I like working with quite limited colour palettes on this one. And I have, there is, like at the start of the first live stream for this page, which I'll try and remember to link down below, I do the colour mapping live. But I have been asked to actually do like a video about how I do colour maths. So I will try to do my best because I've been asked a few times about colour math and how I do it. So I'll do my best to get in there and get that done. Alright, so I'm just dipping my pencil into the water to pick up some colour, and that's scribbling that onto the page. So it just wets the pencil and then it's scribbled onto the page. I'm also going to grab a little bit of Deep Indigo because this is a bit of our darker tone. And then just looking at some references as well. I think we're going to bring in just a little bit of brown as well, a little bit of natural brown, not a huge amount, but there just to earth up the green. I might even, I've got some remaining red dregs on the board as well, so I might pick some of that up if need be too. So yeah, I hope you're all doing well out there in whatever your time zone is. It is Wednesday morning here in Aotearoa. I do film these first thing Wednesday morning. It is chilly and icy and very, very cold. We are definitely heading to winter now. There's no denying we are heading to winter. It feels like it's snowing on the mountain, and yeah, I'm not a fan of the cold. I also haven't been feeling great again, so yeah, it's never very fun, but we keep pushing through, and I'm still creating like crazy, and I'm still doing good. We have just finished having Mother's Day as well. It was Mother's Day on Sunday, and it was a lovely, lovely day. I made breakfast for my mum, and then we had family round for an afternoon tea. And yeah, it was lovely to catch up with people and to have all the grandkids or my nieces and nephews, and yeah, just kids make it so fun. Noisy, but fun. And so yeah, today we've got a thing that we do on Wednesdays. So I do have like limited times on Wednesday morning. So there may be some days I have to pre-film Whatcha working on Wednesdays on Tuesday. But at the moment I seem to have enough time to film it in the morning, get it edited and rendered, and then get it up before we do our things. So yeah, I don't have much rhyme or reason right now as to how I'm getting into this emerald. I'm just kind of placing some colour down. Obviously the field green is my primary colour because it is the sort of emerald green, but I'm just trying to weave a little bit of darker and lighter into there as well. Just trying to build a bit of depth. I imagine that if there was light coming through, it would be a bit lighter towards the top and darker towards the bottom. So just trying to keep that in mind. We might try a little bit of brown. Yeah, that's pretty good to just sort of deepen up a couple of areas. Lots of green. Green is our primary color. So yeah, actually haven't got a lot to talk about this week. Like, most of what's going on this week is house stuff, and there's not a lot to talk about there. I'm still on a wait list for 101 different things, so it's just waiting and waiting to see. Yeah, just waiting. We have free healthcare here in New Zealand, but we have an overworked public health system, and yeah, it's a lot. So we just right now just have to wait. Which is hard because it does limit what you can do some days, but we make the most of what we can. And you know, again, I try to look for the positives every day, the positives that I can find, and there's so much to be grateful for. One of my favorite things while I sit here and do art is just looking out the window and watching the birds fly in, because there's all sorts of beautiful birds that like to rest on the branches outside my window, and so I get to see lots of lovely wildlife. And today's no exception. There's a little bit of a breeze, but there's a couple of little sparrows hanging around in the tree. So you may or may not hear the little chirps on the microphone. Probably not. The microphone's meant to be sort of trained to not pick it up. Right, I like that so far. I think we're getting sort of that emerald toning. I think the only thing it needs is like the blends are a bit smooth. We might need a bit more texture, but I kind of want to wait for it to dry and then I'll come back in. And you'll see what I mean when we come back in. But for now, I just kind of want to get a good blend base in. I want this one to have like a really dark bottom area too. I think we're going to work some white Posca back into these as well. So mixing a bit of the field green and a bit of the apple green to come up here. Might need more pigment. It's not a great blend. We will smooth that out a bit. I tend to saturate in this book, and so far the paper handles it. Like, I've got a bit of ghosting, and definitely the paper's a bit buckled, so if you're not a fan of that, but I mean, I'm pretty heavy-handed with my water, and I don't mind. Alright, let's get a little bit of blue. We might mix that with a bit of green. And we can start cooling down here a bit. Yeah, let's get a bit of that brown in here too. A bit more blue into there. I think it's coming together. Again, got to trust the process. I'm also still going to add in some sharp white highlights. That's definitely missing. But I think we're getting a bit of a base. I love ink tints. I just, oh, yeah. If I could only keep one set of pencils, I'd keep ink tints because I can do things with them just like on their own. I don't have to use them as a base. I can use them as a base, but can do a lot on their own, and they seem to last ages, so I wouldn't be so worried about colours running out, you know? Especially when you're doing stuff like this, like, yeah. Oh, excuse me. Getting relaxed. Getting too relaxed, eh? There's something about when you just start getting into the zone and you find that peacefulness. That's often what I find. I find I get into this zone with colouring and forget about the world, and or it gives a chance for my brain to settle, and then I can actually work on processing through something, especially with my anxiety right now. Just finding that moment of like, such a good tool. Honestly, I've been colouring so much, I feel like I've got RSI at the moment. Oh gosh. I think it's also the cold though too. I do, with the arthritis, I do definitely feel the cold, but yeah, definitely colouring a lot at the moment. I've needed it. It's a wonderful hobby. I know sometimes it's real easy to like look at, especially with me and how many pages I do and stuff like that. It's easy to compare and go, oh, I'm not a real colorist. I don't do it. No, 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 no. Don't, because the amount of time that I have for coloring is very different to most people, but also there's so many factors that go into coloring. Like, sometimes I color just because I need to whip out a page and it's 20 minutes, and then this one here is taking me hours and hours and hours. The numbers lie. The numbers don't reflect effort, but it's also not about, not every page needs to be a 120-hour masterpiece. Like, sometimes coloring for me is just literally I need to slap color on a page, and I do, and it might take me 20 minutes and I'm done. It's very easy to get lost in comparison and go, I don't do this, I don't do this. No, don't let yourself. It's hard, but don't compare yourself to others. Just focus on your own colouring and whatever you do, and be proud of what you do. And if that also means that for now colouring isn't the thing and you need to focus on something else, that's also valid too. Sometimes you need to not focus on colouring. Alright, so now that those bottom ones are kind of all there, we're going to go back up to this top section, and I'm just going to add in some streaky bits just to kind of add in a bit of texture to our rock. It may or may not show up all that well on camera. Just adding in some texture, and I needed it to be a bit dry because I didn't want it to bleed everywhere. And let's add in a bit more dark down the bottom here. Hey, I think we're good. Yeah, I think I like that. Alright. So, quick hairdryer blast, and then it will come back and do some white highlights. Okay, so that's our page now nice and dry. Now we can come in with the Posca and go over the lines that are there, and maybe add in some of our own too. We'll start with the lines that are there. Okay. Now we're going to start adding in some of our own. Not too many. We don't want to go overboard, but you know, we want our stone to look reflective. Shaky hands today. Makes it a bit more difficult. There we go. Right, there's our emerald. So just have a couple little touches on the flowers, really. I just want to deepen up those centers a little bit. Make them a bit more on the darker side. So I'm just going to use some of the deep indigo and a little bit of natural brown and carmine, not carmine pink, fire, Persian red. And we're just going to, it's almost like a deep dark purple. Use that to just shade in. Make sure our centers are nice and lovely and dark. And we need to do the same on this side. Might need to move the camera, eh? That would help. How about we bring this one into focus? I had started darkening a couple of these on this side. I still had a couple to go back and do. I also need to go back and do, I've missed a green stem down here. Oh, just about went to go and drop it into my coffee cup, even though my coffee cup's on the complete different side to where the paint water is. I've only done that a couple of times in my lifetime. And luckily I've never drunk it, I believe. Could be wrong. Could have forgotten. So yeah, there's just a little green stem down here that I missed. And over here, I did start working on this one on stream yesterday because my eyes were actually having trouble focusing, which is a sign that I needed a break. But it was good because it meant that I had time to go and finish off dinner and cook all the last little bits, and I didn't have to ask Mum to cook the potatoes because I was there to cook the potatoes and stuff like that. Alright, and then it's just a couple places I want to darken on her skin, and this is going to look wild until the water dries, but it's just a couple of places I wanted to weave back over, because when I shaded her skin I didn't have everything shaded in, so some things just didn't feel quite complete. Okay. A little bit more darkness under the fingers here, and under there. Should have a bit more shadow. Take that out. Alright, fingertips. I may go over with super golden anyway, but let's paint them in very, very carefully. This is Persian red. Scraping up the last of the Persian red on the palette. Alright, let's give this another hairdryer blast. So I'll stop and come back and then we'll do our super golden. Okay, we're nice and dry and we're on the home stretch. So when I do these pages, I go over the border with 2 different colors, and they don't have to be the colors of the description. It's just colors that coincide and seem to tie in. So that's what we're going to do now. So I was thinking that the green would be nice. It's a similar green to the green of the hair. Like, I think that would tie together well. But the pink of the I don't even have a pink in this one, but in this one I should have a pink. This is my newer set, so I keep them separate. But yeah, the pinks are like, it's more of a rosy pink with a silvery tone, which doesn't feel right. So I think we're going to use gold for our second color. I think that'll tie in quite nicely. So what I tend to do is I go back to the original and I just take a photo just so I remember how I did the border, so I don't have to go flicking back and forward all the time. Like remembering, like for this symbol here, which would be this one over here, I did go over the dotted frame with a color and bordered it and stuff like that. So yeah, so I think we're going to start with our super golden green. We'll use that for around the edges. Now I do have very shaky hands today, so this is probably not the best day for me to be doing something like this, but yeah, we're here. So close to being done, so we'll just make sure we don't rush it. But yeah, I do have very shaky hands today for some reason. But it would be nice to tip this one after it's done. So then we're gonna gold in the middle. It's so funny using one of the new, because this is a new super golden. The gold was one of the first colors I ran out in my first super golden set. And also this one feels like it's running low too. It shouldn't, it's still relatively new. There we go. Now the ink's coming down a bit. Just need some good shakes. Still not really coming out all that well. Might have to come back to that or figure out another gold. It's definitely not flowing like the green. Just give it a moment. There's definitely still ink in there. Like, I can hear it. I think you should be able to hear that. Okay, it's coming out now. Maybe it just needed a heck of a lot more shaking. Maybe I just didn't shake it long enough. Maybe I just needed patience. Right, when it came to these ones, yeah, I did change colour. I had a feeling that the little ones in between, I did do that. All right. So we'll carry on down here. We are going to have to twist this book into some weird positions, just so it's easier for my hands, to try and keep it as comfortable as possible. So I'll try to make sure that you stay in frame. I do really love how this one came together. Very, very pleased with it. I just colored two things green when they should be gold. My bad. It's okay, we'll just let it dry and then we'll go over it. It happens. She'll be right. That's a very Kiwiism for you. She'll be right, mate. I'm going to do her nose in gold as well. And we've got her ear cuff as well, which I'll come back to when I'm up that way. So it's a little more complicated. Any dots over there? There is that dot there, that one there. Add in one more. I like doing dots and freeze. Okay, twist the page without bumping the camera. I think I did anyway. Oh, I get the feeling this book's going to start falling apart soon, and I really don't want it to, but I have flicked for it so much. It's already split on the Leo page. But yeah, it's already a well-loved book. I love it though, I really do. I'm so excited to have another one done in this earth section. I've just decided I'm gonna just fully do the earth section first and just fully embrace doing the earth section, so why not? Because yeah, I'm enjoying it. I like the process and I want to keep them all consistent too, so I may as well. And then once all the earth ones are done, we'll decide if we're going to do the sea or the stars, and I'll figure out a technique if I'm going to carry on with the Inktense or if I'm going to change up my method. Oop. Didn't even put the cap on properly there. Just shake the cap off, it's fine. Okay, so we do have an ear cuff here. And yes, the super golden did go over the other super golden perfectly fine. I did think about pulling out the green, but it's so close to her hair, and I really do think the gold jewellery pops a bit more, and it brings in the gold that's in the washi tape. So yeah, I like that. Alright, so we do the ring around, and we go over that with our second colour, which is the gold in this one. Do around the ring. And we do the inside of the symbol. Am I actually still in frame? I am. Shock horror. And very carefully we go around the outside with our first colour, which is the green in this case. to the line. Slowly working up it, trying my best not to go everywhere with my hands, which I'm not doing too badly. Even though, again, my eyes are still not focusing all that great. Maybe it's time to get my eyes tested. Ooh. I don't like that idea. I know I am due for it. Man, I went really over the lines with the ink tints as well. I might have to like use a paint pen and just clean up some of these edges because they're a little messy. That's okay. These things happen. And then again, second colour on here. I was so close, so close. Alright, what did I do for the symbol, the earth symbol? So I just did it in the primary. And then I guess for the ones that had a bar, because that one doesn't have a bar in view. That one doesn't have a bar. There's my... That one did, and I did do alternative. That's what I thought. Okay, so you're going to be gold as well. I know there is meant to be meaning behind each of these little symbols, but I forget what they are. I think one is like... Actually, no, I do think I remember, because there's the actual symbol. So that's the Taurus symbol. Down there, it's if it's a masculine or feminine sign. And then here is the earth, fire, wind, or air. That's one of those signs. So Taurus is an earth. And I think that symbol also relates to the image that we get over here. So because Taurus is an earth, we get like a little mountains and stuff like that. For Libra is an air symbol. So the triangle's upside down. Yeah, Scorpio. Well, that's water, so Scorpio must be a water symbol. And then Capricorn is definitely an earth symbol. Because I am a Capricorn and I know Capricorn's an earth. I just bumped my mic. Right, we just have the little symbol over here. So sometimes I colour these in fully, and then sometimes I just do them with the super golden. This is the only thing I haven't been consistent in. But it's so little, it doesn't really matter, and it's the same across multiple. So today I'm just going to use the green to colour in the background behind the mountains. Gold across the bar. That's how we'll colour that symbol, which means the page is all done. No, it's not. We've got one more step to do, and I can't believe I nearly forgot it. It's important. Hey, shinies. Need our eyes to come to life. Nice glossy lips. Yeah, apart from maybe sitting here and cleaning up some of the edges, which I don't even think this will like fully cover over them anyway. yeah, and I don't think this is a day for me to do it because my eyes are not great, so I possibly could make a bigger mess. There we go. I love it. I'm so pleased with how this turned out. I think this looks really, really cute. I love, love, love the hair. I just, oh, I'm so, so pleased with how this all turned out. And now I will no longer be working on it because it's done. I may end up starting another one. Maybe. Oh, if we could go back, it's Aries. Yeah, Aries is the first one. Maybe I'll go backwards. Maybe I'll go forwards. Maybe I'll choose a random one. Who knows? But yeah, that's the 4th of the earth signs done, and I am absolutely loving how it's all coming together. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this Watch Working on Wednesday. Once again, I ask you, what are you working on? I would love to hear from you, to know what your pages that are in progress are, how your week's been. And yeah, I will catch you again in the next episode next Wednesday. Oli araha to you all. Take care. Bye.